Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we have a special guest for our Azure Zero to Hero series to demonstrate automated deployments on the AKS platform. So we have George with us. George is a cloud advocate at Microsoft. George, why don't you introduce yourself to our subscribers?
Yeah, hello everyone. Thanks, Abhishek, for this invite. And yeah, I'm excited to help people to learn about Azure. And I'm a cloud developer advocate for the cloud native for the AKS and Microsoft team. I work with CNCF projects, helping the product team, also the community, to learn more about AKS, giving feedback as well. If you have any feedback about AKS, we have a community now called the AKS Community. There's also a Twitter account where you can get more insights from the product team, all the new features on this channel and Twitter. Please follow us. But that's my work, and let's try to you know see how can we help someone starting on Azure
Awesome.
to understand what's the first step.
Yeah, uh, it's absolute pleasure to have you because we have started this Zero to Hero series. I've been teaching Azure from the basics. I explained AKS to a point where I've deployed applications on AKS. We have used GitOps. But today we are going to learn about automated deployments. Even I am excited learning from the cloud advocate who is working on AKS. Please go ahead.
That's great. That's great. I'm going to share my screen. And also, there's one thing I like to share is my channel on YouTube, the Azure Tar. Please subscribe, not supporting just myself, but my guest speakers, people that really prepare content, like Abhishek, and yeah, please follow the channel as well. But I have my
Amazing.
screen. There's a nice background today here. And let's go straight to the Azure portal.
Yeah.
What I did, I create one AKS cluster, and this cluster we're going to see a deployment. But I create this cluster use command line Abhishek, and was pretty much like a straightforward cluster without scaling enable. I'm also connecting, my Azure monitoring. I have a Grafana dashboard. I'm attaching my Azure Container Registry to it. And I have something here that we can discuss later about, how to configure the cluster at scale. We can do
Awesome.
that a little bit further on.
Yeah.
And I also have another node pools that I'm creating on this one. But let's go for the cluster itself. The
Got it.
cluster is 127 at the moment, and we have those two node pools. I create a separate node pool there. Just we're going to see later on the ARM thing, how to deploy ARM in a separate pool of machines inside the cluster. We call node pools. But we want to talk about automated deployments.
Yeah. This is
Is
what
that
we are excited
that's the
about.
whole point of the discussion today. I mean,
Yeah.
I even created one here. Let's create a new one. What's automated deployment? That's the first question.
Yeah.
You you have your code, you develop your, let's say, .NET application. I have one .NET application here that we can try. And I don't know. I never use Docker. I don't know how to write a Docker file. I don't know the YAML, Kubernetes YAML file,
Okay.
or still learning. How can I get started? Then you can create everything from here. You can create the Docker file, the YAML file to deploy on Kubernetes, and you can also create the pipeline on GitHub.
Oh, okay.
And
So everything is automated. You don't need to
everything
write
is
the Docker file.
automated.
Okay.
Sounds good?
Yeah. Sounds exciting. Let's see.
And yeah, then the first thing you do is just give a name for that. Let's say you deploy .NET. Um, yeah, .NET. Let's put a name here for this course. And let's select. I have my repositories. Let me get my simple .NET application there.
Okay. So this is a repository in your GitHub, right?
Yeah, correct. I'm going to show that one. Where is that? That repository is this one here. Okay,
Okay.
just a .NET application. Um, The Dockerfile is not going to be here. That's just because I was testing like before, but the
Yeah.
Dockerfile is not going to be there. It's just your code. There is no
Okay.
manifests. Okay, there is no YAML file.
Hmm.
Those things are going to be created by the automated deployments.
So it creates a pull request?
They create a pull request at the end of this flow, of this wizard,
Okay.
that you have to approve to merge the code, as you can see here. But let's do
Got it.
again. Let's do another one. I put a different workflow name.
Hmm.
Then once you select your repo and you select the branch that one, in my case, let me say on the main branch,
Got it.
okay,
So
and then
just to explain one more time, if I
yeah,
just give a GitHub repository, let's say with Python code, which does not have the Docker file, which does not have the Kubernetes manifest, just the source code, still using this automated deploy feature, we will be able to deploy the application on AKS. Am I right?
correct. If your repo is clean, just the code, doesn't matter the language. We support the few languages here, as you can see. Okay, we
Yeah.
identify using draft, the project draft to identify the image and create. Draft is from CNCF as well as a project from Microsoft that creates the Dockerfile. It'd be like a Docker init. There's
Hmm.
a Docker init command now
Yeah.
that you can create the Dockerfile. We're doing
Yeah.
similar
Yeah.
things. We're using draft.
Got it.
And then they identify the language already. That's C# version 7. Okay.
Hmm.
And you can change that if it's not correct. You can change.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they're going to create the Docker file based on the language that you are, writing the code. Then you can see the preview of the Docker file.
Wow.
You can see the preview. You could even change if you want. Okay. You're going to create a Docker ignore file as well to remove things. That's a normal Docker ignore file. And they
Makes
want to
sense.
know where they're going to save the image. Then the way
Hmm.
that we do, we integrate the automated deployments with Azure Container Registry. And then you're going to pick your container registry. I have one here. And you just give, a name for your image. I'm just keeping, you can change the name here. Could be any name, could be,
So you can integrate this container registry while the creation of AKS cluster, right? You just have to provide the name of your ACR.
the name of your ACR and like a name for the image,
Okay.
base name for the image. Just put like a name here to not overlap with any image that I have already on my
Got it.
test, but to be the
Got it.
application name here. And all the tags, every time that you build again the pipeline, they're going to create a new tag for the latest
Hmm.
version. Like
Hmm.
I saw in your course, there is a video you explain deployment on AKS, and you have tag 61, 62.
Yeah.
To be the same here. That's not the tag. That's just the name of the image,
Got it.
and the tag will be dynamically generated by the pipeline.
Nice.
Okay. Then now
Wow.
we have Dockerfile. Okay, they're going to create a pull request, and we know the container hash that you're going to deploy. Once we build the image, the pipeline is going to upload the image to the hash.
Wow.
Then the next
So
step is deployment. See the sequence here. You select the repository, it's green now. You get the image and Dockerfile,
hmm,
and now you go for the deployment.
it's going to be super easy for DevOps engineers, right? A lot of times, DevOps engineers ask me that should I learn how to containerize a C# application? Should I learn how to containerize a Python application, Go application, Java application? Now you have this, which is generating the Docker file for you. All that you need to do is preview the Docker file, make sure it's right. Great.
Yeah, exactly. And you can create you know, your namespace here as well, the namespace that you want.
Hmm.
And now this way we're using deployment files, okay?
Hmm.
And we making this more flexible, okay? Like using Helm, and we're going to bring Azure DevOps to that as well. At the moment using GitHub, but yeah, expect that Azure DevOps will be there.
Okay. Okay.
Probably I'd keep going, let's see.
Okay, right now
um,
it just supports GitHub Actions, right?
GitHub Actions,
Okay,
but we are also bringing more features for that.
nice.
And then what do you need to deploy application? Normally on Kubernetes, Abhishek, you know very well. You have presented that on previous episodes on the course, that you have a deployment file,
Yes.
and if you want to expose the service, you need like a service that could be your internal load balancer. You could expose externally as well.
Yeah.
That will be load balancing between the instance of the deployment.
Yeah.
As a deployment, we have one single replica here, but could be let's say 10. um, in this case here, we are just doing reading only. But
Yeah.
once you create the pull request, then it's become inference code, become GitOps that will also love. You can start even managing that from Argo CD or your GitOps, a tool that you want.
Yeah.
But we're now creating first the artifacts, the YAML files, and that's it. You have the YAML, the deployment, and you have the service. You deploy as a load balancer, and we just in this case will be latest, but that will be dynamically updated by the pipeline
Okay.
once you
Yeah,
build,
this is cool.
once you build
This
the
is cool.
image.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that will be the pipeline you'll be updating. Then that's it. Now you have deployment. If you go next, they're going to ask to review everything that you created. Then you double check. The image is .NET, the
Okay.
repository, the image, the registry, and all the files generated. And that's it.
How
Once you deploy,
how simple is it? Like if you just scroll up, you have your repository, then you have the image that is created for you, then you
yeah,
have the Docker file that is created for you. Your Docker image is pushed to the registry, and then it creates the deployment service.yaml. You just have to review things and click on the deploy button. Let's see the magic.
let's see the magic happen.
Yeah.
And the nice thing here is also they're going to give authorization for GitHub Actions to access your AKS cluster and your Azure Container Registry as well. They're
Amazing.
using federations with GitHub Actions and Azure to give you this access. Then you don't have to care about the authorization there.
Okay.
Even for you, for us professionals that even doing that for many years, we want to use that because it's so simple to
Yeah.
create.
Yeah, I want to use that. Sure.
I use that a lot. Then what happens is they're going to at the end ask you to approve a pull request. A pull
Okay.
request will be generated and must be measured before the automated deployment workflow is available, is active.
Active. Okay.
Then
So we can see the pull request on the
you can
GitHub
go there. You
repository.
can go on pull requests on my repository. That's it. They create the pull request for us.
Okay.
Then let me zoom a little bit. Then file changes. You can see everything they create for us. The
Ah,
YAML
nice.
file.
Hmm.
That's the pipeline. Sorry, that's the pipeline.
Yeah.
They normally on GitHub Actions inside the .github workflows.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it's very nice to see the pipeline here because that's the way that we do is we use Azure Container Registry build to build the image.
Wow.
Okay, you can change that if you want, but the way that I would make deployment style is using Azure Container Registry build. Then we build
Hmm.
the Docker image inside Container Registry. Then we save the image there, and as you can see, we separate what's called build image and we can saw deployment. It's called steps on your pipeline, and then at the end we just deploy the Kubernetes YAML files, the YAML files directly, and you have
Nice.
all fixed out. You see the GitHub hash for as a tag for your Docker image to be done here. Then every time that you build, will be a different version using the
Yeah.
hash of your GitHub.
Yeah. This is where it is updating the hash of the every new build, right? So
Yes,
that cool, cool.
means
And
that
does it create
you
the
could.
pull? My
mm,
bad. Please go ahead.
No, I just say if you want to use GitOps, for example, you're probably going to remove these deployment part and leave these for for Argo CD to do the deployment
Yeah.
by you keeping building the image and save the image, and then you can like trigger and get the latest GitHub hash and deploy
Hmm.
from Argo from other thing. But here we're doing the deployment inside the pipeline. That's one way to
Got
get it. You don't have to use GitOps for everything. We recommend once you learn this, but
it.
I think to learn, you deploying from GitHub is very nice, because you
Yes.
have everything figured out for you. Yeah, and because I have the deployment file, they're just updating and they satisfy. And
So the pull
let's just
request is created every time whenever you trigger a new build, or how does that work? Like, do I have to
yeah.
manually approve the pull request every time?
Yeah, normally, those things are done for the first time. You kind of now you're going to update from the GitHub.
Okay.
The automated deployments works very well for the first time, and then since after that you keep updating from the code. In
Okay.
this case, let's just approve these pull requests, and then by that, like let's just merge this one. Once that's merged, we go for GitHub Actions. We should see the pipeline running
Oh, CI is running automatically.
automatically. Then the first we separate in two steps. One is to build the image,
Hmm.
and another to deploy. Then if you decide to remove the deploy and do it in a different way, you can do it later. But it's a perfect start for someone, And even in production, you can go with that in production. There's no problem at all.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to use GitOps, you can go like that for production.
So right now, I saw that this is a preview feature, right? What are the plans to get this into beta and generally available?
That's something preview for a while, and yeah, we probably pushing that very soon. Let's wait for keep going now. Keep going. We are in March 2024 now when we record this video, and
Yeah.
it should be very soon to be GA next few weeks, and hopefully let's see the
Oh,
news that keep going Europe in Paris.
wow. Nice. Nice to have that insider information. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Great.
the feature. There'll be more flexibility there with other things. But yeah, the pipeline's running. There you go. You have the normal Docker build here happening inside the container registry. It's not on the build agent of the GitHub Actions that runs inside the Azure Container Registry as a task.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
feature that not many people know.
Yeah.
But if you go on my container registry, Abhishek, have you seen that before? Maybe something that we could show here is like um, there's one
Task.
thing on Azure Container Registry called tasks, and yeah, I think you're going to see these things running right now.
So it's not a
There you
build
go.
agent. It's not a self-hosted. It's not Azure hosted, but it's a task inside the ACR where the
Is a
build is
task
actually
inside
running.
the ACR, and that's the
Hmm.
log. The same log we're looking here
Yeah.
is the log that we see inside the container registry runs there. That's very interesting. Container
Yeah.
registry is something you could go deeper in other videos that like caching is another thing. You can cache with image coming from the Docker Hub as well. But that feature run, you can even run workflows inside Azure Container Registry. That's
So the
very,
caching.
very
So the caching is basically to avoid pulling every image from the Docker, right? To avoid the Docker rate limit.
exactly. Yeah, you
Hmm.
get create rules and you say like some images want to synchronize from Docker Hub,
Yeah, makes
and you can
sense.
even know the integrations here, like Quay and yeah. I
Yeah,
even
we'll
post
do
on my
that.
LinkedIn now about this Docker Hub.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's something that helps a lot with performance.
Yes, yes.
And also like if offline, if some connection lost to with Docker Hub, you have this in cache. Yeah, but that's it. The pipeline should be done here. The build's done, and then they're going to deploy now. And deployment's happening. If I go repository, .NET 2, that's my repository. That's the image probably was created because I built again, I haven't changed, but I built before,
Yeah,
but that's the one that, because I haven't changed, that's the same, the hash pretty much, then the be this one here.
yeah,
And now they run the deploy.
yeah. I think we forgot to tell our subscribers that you are in Australia. The
Yeah,
Australia time zone popped up. Yeah,
yeah, it's completely different. I'm in Melbourne, by the way. If I'm one on the Asian side here, Singapore, Asia, Malaysia, China, New Zealand. Um, and then if we close that, then you go on AKS. I love this, pretty much a dashboard
yeah.
that's being
I
it's
think the
trying to get
deployment
more
is happening. Yeah,
is happening. Yes, looks like the application is not very well at the moment.
that's
Maybe it's
fine.
not. That's okay. But
Yeah,
even if the application has any problem with my application itself, I haven't touched that in a while. But the deployment is happening. Okay,
that's important.
that's the important thing. And
Yeah,
then yeah, the deployment is already happening from the pipeline. And now after that, I'll check every time that you want to change anything, that's become inference code, and your workflow is inside that folder. That's the
so
workflow.
got it. Your repo is completely set up. You just give a raw repository to AKS. Let's say you are a developer and you just want to give a source code to the AKS, and
Yeah,
your DevOps engineer enable automated deploy, and your repository is ready with GitHub Actions, it is ready with Dockerfile, it is ready with K8s Manifests, right?
correct. Create the Docker file for us. Create the manifest files, the YAML files,
Great.
and also, yeah, created the workflow, and that's it. And then everything be running here on the pipelines. So the deployment is still going because they're waiting for the pod to
Yeah,
come up, but that's fine. Means
that's fine.
that your application will be working just clicking buttons. Just write your code. If you're a developer, write your code, come here, create a cluster, and you can create the cluster again using you can share. I'm going to give you that, those commands to create the cluster.
Yeah,
And if you want to create the extra node pools, like we're going to show later, but just that command's enough for you to create the cluster.
amazing. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get that on the GitHub repository. But
Yeah.
yeah, for now, it was amazing to see automated deployments completely rolling over.
Yeah. It sounds good. Sounds exciting. I'd like to see how easy is now to get started compared with many years ago, even then. It just,
Yeah,
you can create the cluster. And that's a good way to learn as well, because you're creating the pipeline, you're creating the Docker file, and you can improve
yes.
for sure. But we're also trying to improve the way that we create those files for you.
Thank you so much, George. This was very informative, even something new to learn. I've seen something similar on GitLab where they have automated deployments, but on the Azure platform, yeah, it was great learning from you. And we are looking forward to learn more such things, probably the internals of AKS. In the next video, we will learn more about AKS, and we will learn probably about the auto scaling options. We will learn about some exciting features.
Thanks a lot, Abhishek. Thanks everyone.
Thanks.
Yeah, keep you watching, and congrats on the channel and on the trainings, that the course that you are offering is amazing. Yeah, and talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, George. See you.